I think everybody's here, so we'd like to start proceedings, if possible. I have to tell you one thing that we did. This is it's a successful business due to a large part for our staff, our candy makers, and so on. So we shut the kitchen down for a short period of time so that the staff could be part of the announcement. And we only got about 15 minutes, and I'll have to send them back because we lose a batch if we don't fire it back up again. So if we're ready to go, are we good to go? All right, so we'll get started. My name's Tom Copping. For those that don't know me, many of you do. I'm the Director of Operations for Canada Candy Company, and we are extremely pleased to have the dignitaries from the Ontario government here today. We're also happy to coincide this with ribbon cutting for Canada Candy. So without any further discussion, I'm just going to. Mr. Rinaldi, are you all set? All right. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Lou Rinaldi, who is the MPP for Northumberland-Quinte and Quinte West.
Boy, good morning. Is it morning? It is morning. It's just that we started early this morning, and it's good to be here in more ways than one. One, I'm standing behind a podium where you can see me, because you can see through it. Normally I have to do a sound check, you know. But anyways, and thank you to the folks for opening their doors for us to be here this morning. I mean, when I look at the crowd, I know it's because of the candies. I know it's because of the candy. So, but anyways, I'm not going to take much time, but I'm so delighted to see an industry flourish, a new business get established, and hiring local people. That's what it's about. I'm delighted. I'm also delighted the government plays a role, a supporting role. We leave the experts to do what they do best every day. So without further ado, I'm going to invite up to the podium my good friend, my neighbor. In the political world, he's my neighbor, to bring some remarks. So without further ado, I'd like to invite up to the podium my good friend, the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs and Small Business, Jeff Leal.
Well, thank you so much, Lou. It's great to be with everybody here in beautiful Cobourg today, along with my colleague, the Honourable Stephen Del Duca, the Minister for Economic Growth and Development in the province of Ontario. And I want to recognize a number of mayors and municipal leaders. And Gil, thank you so much for the tour for Venture 13 prior to being here today. And it's great to see whether it's Bob Sanderson in beautiful Port Hope, Ontario, or Gil Braconier right here in Cobourg, to see the great municipal leadership that we have here in Eastern Ontario. They're innovative leaders and, of course, building the foundation for private sector growth and development, which is so important to us all, to see the good jobs that are being created in all these communities, the leadership of my good friend Lou Rinaldi, the hardworking MPP for Northumberland-Quinte West. And after June the 7th, Lou always wanted to get part of Peterborough County. So after June the 7th, he'll be the MPP for Northumberland and the beautiful, let me tell you, Peterborough South. So they're looking forward to getting that representation. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, Stephen and I and Lou, we get to travel all parts of the province of Ontario. And indeed, the economy is strong. Unemployment rate, 5.5%, the lowest it's been in the province of Ontario in some 17 years. And when I get to communities, I get the sense of optimism that I've seen never before in this province, and we're continuing to build on that each and every day. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to keep Blair, my speechwriter, happy this morning, so I better deliver these remarks. So it says, Blair tells me to say hello to everyone. Thanks so much, Blair. And thank you to Tom and everyone from the Canada Canadian Canada Company for making us feel so welcome here today. I'd like to acknowledge, as I said, my colleagues Lou Rinaldi and Stephen Del Duca. I'm excited to be here today to see the amazing work that you do firsthand, both as Minister responsible for Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs and the Minister responsible for small business. I'm delighted to offer my congratulations on this very important investment in this wonderful company. This is terrific news for Cobourg and the local manufacturing and agriculture sectors, great news for Eastern Ontario, and indeed great news for all of Ontario. It's an example of how we can work together to accomplish working with the private sector and government for common cause. When you hear people use the term manufacturing, they usually think of cars, machinery, and even aerospace parts. But guess what? Ontario's food and beverage manufacturing sector is the third largest in North America today, and Cobourg is an example of a community that's leading the charge in that area. And there's tremendous growth and continuous growth for communities like Cobourg. That is why we're here today, to announce that through the Eastern Ontario Development Fund, the Ontario government, your government, is supporting good jobs and growth right here in Cobourg, Ontario. Through a grant of more than $1.2 million, we're investing in this company to help build a new state-of-the-art facility and expand production. More importantly, Canada's Candy Company, with this new plant, will create 29 new jobs right here in Cobourg. 29 families, 29 more individuals seeking their career to invest back in the wonderful community of Cobourg. Today's example is a major vote of confidence in our region, which builds on 4 other recent investment announcements made through the Eastern Ontario Development Fund. Our Manitoul Works at Mariposa Dairy and Lindsay, Muskoka Rock Company, of course, and Pendulum Industries in beautiful Huntsville, Ontario. Taking all 5 companies together, 149 new jobs will be created and 496 jobs will be retained. That's great job security for so many families, and I'm really pleased that our government is playing an important part in making that happen. The Eastern Ontario Development Fund was established with Lou Rinaldi's innovation and support to ensure that all regions of Ontario could benefit from economic growth following the downturn of the economy almost a decade ago. Since 2013, we have successfully partnered with forward-looking companies that build jobs, introduce new technologies to make sure they're leaders in the world. Leveraging total private sector investment of over $500 million and supporting over 9,000 jobs right here in Eastern Ontario. Congratulations to everyone involved in this great company. I look forward to watching you continue to grow and success as a valued member of Cobourg's business community and Ontario's vibrant food processing sector. So without any further ado, I know he delivered a real great speech on the economic prospects of Ontario just yesterday in Toronto. Our friend, a friend of Eastern Ontario, a friend of Ontario's agriculture community, a supporter of small business, my colleague, our colleague, the Honourable Stephen Del Duca.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am so very happy. I'm, in fact, so very excited to be here with all of you this morning in this incredible facility in this beautiful part of our province here in Cobourg. And I want to begin by saying to both Lou and Jeff, and I think, in fact, I know all of you here locally will know this far better than I would, or that others would from other parts of the province. But here in this wonderful part, in this wonderful region, you are truly blessed because of the outstanding political representation that you have, that it is embodied by Lou Rinaldi and by Jeff Leal. They really and truly are extraordinary champions for their respective communities at Queen's Park, whether it's speaking with other ministers, caucus colleagues, the Premier herself. You know this. They are never, ever, ever shy about making sure that we all understand how critically important it is for our government to continue to invest in the things that matter most to the people that we are proud to represent. And I listen all the time when Lou and Jeff speak about what's taking place not only in this part of Ontario, but across rural Ontario, because as Jeff pointed out, the economic prosperity that we derive as a province because of these kinds of investments and because of the work that takes place in a facility like this, that's part of the reason that we have such an incredible economic story to tell in our province. Now, I will also say, so I want to say thank you to Jeff and to Lou, and I think they deserve a round of applause for the work that they do on a day-to-day basis. Now, I'm looking around the audience today, and not many of you will know that at home I have 2 young daughters, and my daughters are 10 and 6, and I live just on the edge of Toronto in the city of Vaughan, and I took my daughters to school this morning. I did not dare tell them that I was coming to a candy factory because boy, oh boy, would they be jealous if they knew, and they'd be asking for a doctor's note to join me instead of going to school. But interestingly, yesterday, my 6-year-old, whose name is Grace, from time to time, like 6-year-olds will do, wanted to know what I had planned for my day. And so I let her know. Jeff pointed out that I spoke at the Canadian Club in Toronto yesterday. I said to her, well, Grace, a little bit later today, Daddy's going to be delivering a speech. She looked at me and she said, well, what's a speech? So I said to her, well, Grace, a speech is kind of like that bedtime story that I will occasionally read to you in the evenings when I'm home in time to do it. She paused for a second, and I said, but it's for adults. It's like a bedtime story for adults. And she paused for a second, and she said, well, Daddy, does that mean that when you're done your speech, the adults go to sleep? Well, I looked at her and I said, listen, sweetheart, sometimes they don't even wait that long. So I'm really very happy to be here today. I don't have a lot to say except to let all of you know how important it is for me to echo what Jeff said from the podium. And I referenced this just a second ago. We are very fortunate right now in the province of Ontario. There's a lot of information that flows to us as individuals via media, via those who may choose to be critical and may choose to look down upon the incredible economic success that we've had as a province. That's not our way. As your Ontario Liberal government, that's not our style, and that's not our approach. As Ontario's Minister of Economic Development and Growth, I will tell you that since the depths of the global recession about a decade ago in 2008, when our province and frankly the entire global economy was hit pretty hard, here in Ontario, we've managed to create more than 800,000 new jobs over that decade. And the lion's share of those jobs are full-time, and they're in the private sector, and they are in industries that pay above average wages. Now, as a politician, I would like to stand here and say that government should take all of the credit for that success, but that wouldn't be accurate or fair. I will say, I think thanks to the policies that we've embraced as a government, and thanks to the strategic investment funds that Jeff and Lou fought so hard to create, like the Eastern Ontario Development Fund, like the Jobs and Prosperity Fund, and others that we have at our disposal. Because of those measures, I believe that we helped set the table for the economic success that we experience today in this province. And Jeff pointed out, lower unemployment rate today than at any other point in the last 17 years. Nearly 3 consecutive years that Ontario's unemployment rate has been below the national average. GDP, or economic growth, it's not only leading Canada, but leading the entire G7. Now, I would also like to stand here and tell you that that success is in part because of the table that we set as government. And we derive encouragement, we derive pride, if I can say it that way, from the fact that we took the measures and embraced the measures that we did. But none of it would be possible if it wasn't for all of you. We helped set the table, but our business owners, small, medium, and large, you are the ones who invested your time, who risked your capital, who chose to invest, who chose to hire, who chose to partner with us to expand. Today is a very, very classic example of how this partnership, this collaboration is working well here in this part of Ontario. It's working well in every corner of Ontario. But as your Minister of Economic Development and Growth, I wanted to be here this morning to say thank you. Thank you for actually expressing your confidence in Cobourg, your confidence in Eastern Ontario, your confidence in Ontario by making this investment and doing what for generations Ontarians have always done and done so well. In good times and in bad, keeping our heads up, keeping our shirt sleeves rolled up, keeping our shoulders to the wheel, working hard, driving hard, and making sure that the opportunity that we've all been blessed with throughout our lives here in this province is successfully passed on to our children and our grandchildren. We have done a good job as a government, but it would not be possible, and we would not be having the success that we have today, economically and socially, if it wasn't for you. So, to everyone here this morning, and to the outstanding team at the Canada Candy Company, and all of our municipal partners who are here today, I want to say thank you. We'll continue to partner with you. We'll continue to make sure that our province moves forward, and we'll continue to make sure that Ontario's brightest days are still ahead. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. I can tell you this is probably about my 4th visit to this facility. And every time I come, I just see how much it improves day after day. It's just a wonderful facility here. And I can tell you, as your landlord, we are extremely proud what you have done in retrofitting this building for a very, very good purpose. And you know, well, I know, Tom, but you do deserve a lot of credit, Tom. And I've been telling you for, I don't know how many months now, Tom, this is the best kept secret in Cobourg. Well, judging by the people we have here today, you're no longer the best kept secret in Cobourg. Everybody's going to know exactly what you're bringing to Cobourg, how you're contributing to our economy. You know, through all of the jobs that you're providing here today and moving forward, I know that there's already plans to go to a 2nd shift. So you're going to double the number of employees you have, and you know, so that kind of growth proves to me that that you have a really good product, that you have really good management team, and also I know that what you're bringing is technology. And one of the things that we have to look for when we have new companies come is we have to make sure they have the technology that'll carry them into the future. And with all the high-tech equipment you have here, you're guaranteed of that because you're going to be competitive. You'll be more than competitive with the rest of the country on the products that you're building here. So although Cobourg knows very much now how much you're contributing through jobs, taxes, and so on, the jobs are the most important part. But also now the whole country is going to know the unique product that you're providing. You know, who else is providing products that use natural fruit juice in confectionery products? So that's an outstanding technology that you have brought. It's a good, innovative recipe, and you deserve a lot of credit for that. So we're very, very happy that you have chosen Cobourg as your destination to produce this, produce the confectionery products. So on behalf of the town of Cobourg, I just want to say again, thank you for coming to Cobourg. We'll give you all the support we can. I really appreciate that we have 2 ministers and our own MPP here today just to support you, and that's a good indication of how successful they think you're going to be, and that's why they're supporting you. They're all about growing business in Ontario, and you're part of that. So Tom, on behalf of the town of Cobourg, again, congratulations. You're no longer the best kept secret in Cobourg or even in Canada. So I want to, on behalf of the town of Cobourg, give you this certificate.
Thank you very much, Mayor Gill, and thank you to the distinguished speakers, all of you. We are very lucky and happy that you found time out of your busy schedules to come and spare a few moments with us today. And Mr. Del Duca, I can assure you that your daughter is going to love our candies. She's going to love them. As by the way, when you leave today, there's a bag of candies for everyone to take home and enjoy. Okay? And Mr. Rinaldi, I can remember almost 2.5 years ago when you called me after that big application for the Eastern Ontario Development Fund and said, you have been awarded a grant. And I was so happy. I went in and told my boss, but I'll tell you a funny story. I went in and told my boss that we got a grant for $200,000, and his face dropped. And I said, well, you know, that's the best we can do. But I said, it's not April Fool's Day, Joe, but I was just kidding you. And I told him what the real value of the grant was. In terms of the Eastern Ontario Development Fund, I learned a lot by doing the application. And it really is a fund that is beneficial to small business. Certainly it's been beneficial to us at Canada Candy Company. It has motivated us to employ and meet the employment targets. It has allowed us to, when we sourced equipment from around the world, and we really did, all of the equipment here that could be bought from Ontario was bought from Ontario. But the candy making equipment is usually Swiss, Italian, German. But that equipment, you sometimes have choices to make where you can go up a notch, up a notch. And the Eastern Ontario Development Fund, and it cannot be understated, gave us the extra room to be able to do that. And that allowed us to have the absolutely best equipment on the planet. And with Mateo and all those guys over there, we were able to make the best candies in North America. Now, we set out to set the bar very high. We are halal and kosher. There is no other candy company on the planet, hear me, on the planet that is kosher and halal. We are. So we're looking forward to our customer base learning about that. Quick history, and then we're going to do a ribbon cutting. We've been doing renovations and so on for almost 3 years. We commissioned the plant last May, June. We started producing in June, July, and now we're producing truckloads every week. And as Mary Gill and the gentleman mentioned, we are starting a second shift, hopefully in June, July. I would like now to have a ribbon cutting, and the distinguished guests, together with Mary Gill, and also the gentleman over here who hired me 35 years ago, Mr. Vince Pula. I'd like him to come up, and if you do it on this side, we'll give you a pair of scissors and we'll cut the ribbons, and then as soon as the ribbon cutting is complete, we will go on to having tours for those who want to have a tour, but we're going to break them up in small groups. But let's do the ribbon cutting now, if you don't mind.